You grew up watching the Browns a little bit just because they're always on the TV because they're closer by. So they definitely be a dream come true wherever I go.
10 FBS records, 10 FBS records, and led the nations in 105 categories. We've talked a lot about Shedeur Sanders on this channel, and for good reason, right? #1 in school records for single season passing yards, pass completion, pass touchdowns, completion percentage, as well as being #1 in FBS history for pass completion percentage. But I got to tell you, there's a Browns teammate on Shedeur's new team that is more legendary, specifically in college football, than Shedeur Sanders. His name is Harold Fanin. Now, he was looked at as one of the top tight ends coming into this draft, but people look at him as an interesting figure, almost an Isaiah Likely type build when it comes to what he's going to be utilized for. Not the same build, because Isaiah Likely is like a little taller, probably a little more smoother. Isaiah Likely is about 6'3", but he's a pure receiving tight end. He don't do none of that blocking stuff. At least it's nothing that we saw at Bowling Green, obviously coming from a small school in Bowling Green. Today, I'm going to give you a little bit of his background, and more importantly, we're going to go into all of the lengthy FBS records that he has broken as a tight end. And don't get it twisted, Harold Fanin led the league, FBS, all of college football. That's out of wide receivers, tight ends, and everything, and receiving yards this year. So you got to learn about him. And if you enjoy videos like this, we're going to be doing lots of different breakdowns as we're in the middle of minicamp. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you like football content of all shapes and sizes. Let's hear about the legend of Harold Fanin Jr. So, interesting enough, Harold Fanin Jr. was a zero-star recruit coming into college, just like a zero-star recruit we talked about in Cam Ward, who's up there or down there, depending on where you live in Tennessee, doing his thing. Look at this stat line. I want to show you freshman year, 19 for 218. Hey, new tight end getting going. 44 receptions for 623. Hey, you're a tight end. 14.3 average, 6 touchdowns. Second year, you're doing big things, Harold Fanin. Harold Fanin, what happened? 117 receptions, 1,555 yards, 13 average, and 10 touchdowns. Zero-star prospect at Bowling Green. He was the entire Bowling Green offense. Do you even know what a Bowling Green is? Do you know where Bowling Green is? I had to double check. I think it's in Ohio. Oh, there it is. Canton, Ohio, to be specific. And more importantly, Harold Fanin actually played his high school football, and now I believe he's from Canton, Ohio. So that was great to see. And here are some of those backgrounds there. This is from the Browns page, and this is what we're talking about. Fanin has seemingly only played football in Ohio. Okay, and that's not going to change anytime soon. He was born and raised in Canton and played at McKinley High School before ascending as a tight end prospect at Bowling Green. At McKinley, Fanin was a 4-year varsity leader and played on both sides of the ball, but primarily as a safety. Okay, he was a first-team All-Ohio selection as a senior and was also named Stark County Player of the Year. He's still new to the tight end position. Fanin didn't become a tight end until Bowling Green. That would probably make sense why he has a zero-star recruit. I probably are gonna have to. I did not know this about the tight end thing because when I do these videos, I like to go in a little raw, so I know what it is. I just gather information. But that's interesting. So when we do our next video on Harold Fanin, when he starts breaking NFL records, we'll go into his tight end. I mean, not his tight end, his safety background. But, okay, so Green convinced him to make a switch. The transition started off with 216 receptions as a freshman, then took off immediately as a sophomore with the routes that we just saw. No one saw what was coming his junior year, though. He produced the greatest tight end season in FBS history, Doc. It's just no like I'm telling y'all, this is. We're not talking about, Shedeur Sanders and this is just his teammate and we can make a video about him. No. I've been wanting to make a video about Harold Fanin. I just got busy and other stuff. So it just makes it that much easier that he is Shedeur Sanders' teammate. I was looking at, I remember because it was coming deep into the, what's it called, the Heisman race. And, I would go and look at who's leading the Triple Crown. Nick Nash, I believe, who went undrafted to the Atlanta Falcons out of San Jose State. He got the Triple Crown. He led in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Nick Nash was always #1 in receiving yards. But then there was another name every time I would check it to see if Travis Hunter was winning the Heisman or who was winning the Heisman or XYZ or comparing who could win Heisman. And it was Harold Fanin, a tight end out of Bowling Green. So Fanin lit up the Mid-American Conference in all of FBS in 2024 with a stunning year that included 117 receptions. We talked about that. That included a dominant showing against Penn State. Again, who you do it against matters. Against Penn State, went to that national championship run, almost made it to the final. That Penn State, where he hauled in 137 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns. And a touchdown on 11 receptions. Texas A&M, SEC talent, right? Where he had totaled 8 catches for 145 and a touchdown. Those performances put Fanin on the map as one of the best tight end prospects of the draft class, and his record-setting season cemented him as one of the best catching prospects, pass-catching prospects likely to be available on day 2. He will forever be a Bowling Green legend. In addition to setting FBS single-season records, in 2024, Fanin also became the only player in Bowling Green history to become a first-team All-American. He led the nation in over 105 receiving categories and outpaced even the best wide receivers in the nation. Like I told you, he's one of the youngest players on the roster as well. He's only 20 years old. God, making me feel old. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but golly, you got all these broken records at 20. I think I was on my second car. I'm 20, so not in a good way because my Honda Dizzly gave up on me. But it's not about me. This is about Harold Fanin. And going into it, like I want y'all to know, I'm not exaggerating. I don't. This is not a video that needs to be brought up. And I was bored. And how do I make an idea? And dog, look at what you're looking at right now. I don't know. I'm not sure how well you can see it. These are first the honors. This is the honors list. These are the 21 Bowling Green records, and we're gonna read it. I just want to show you. All right. These are the career FBS tight end receiving rankings. Okay, and then career MAC tight end receiver rankings. If you can see, we're gonna come back to. I want to show y'all him in action because we've been doing a lot of yapping. But before we read all this, 2025 Senior Bowl participant at BGU's first ever consensus All-American. And then it goes on a list of other awards and accolades so deep. It's like Bible print, single space, 21 Bowling Green records. We're going to read those as well as get into leading the nation's tight ends in 100. Dog, look at all of this. 10 FBS records. Y'all not ready for it. And going deeper on what this looked like. Again, we saw Penn State 11 receptions, 137, Texas A&M 8 receptions, 145, Arkansas State 213 yards and a touchdown. Boy, that boy can get it done. As you can see. Look at we'll come back to here because I've been doing a lot of yapping. Let me show you what he looks like first in the Senior Bowl. Now, a big thing that he got harped on was that he's not smooth, right? There's a way, but man, does he know his way around, not just routes, right? Because when you're a great route runner, right, you know how to manipulate space, you know how to manipulate leverage. Harold Fanin is so interesting because if you can see, he's not the fastest. He looks a little stiff, quote unquote, but he works these routes to perfection. Look, he's gonna get locked in with this guy. Oh, well, I'm sitting down. No, I'm not. Like that, this is what you're getting from Harold Fanin. You're not going to get some elite speedster, speed demon, whatever. You're going to get an intelligent football player who knows how to get open, right? And knows how to create separation at 20 years old in unorthodox ways in the end zone, right? He's 6'3.5", right? And he just wants to get any small – dog, do you see this? And look, tight ends are receivers now, right? Tight ends are receivers now, so it's not a big deal. But – You get him all up in you, right? Love what he does here. Does he push him off his line? A little bit, right? He gets pushed off 2 to 3 yards off, but he stays strong. And not only does he stay strong, look what he does at the top. Rocker step. Please, my receivers, let me know. Is that really a rocker step? But aggressive step here. And what does that do? Allows him to create space. And he did all that leaning, giving him some space. Boom, breakout. And I mean, dog, I could have, you know what I'm saying? I'm open for that. I'm not sure if you can tell. I'm no athlete, right? Here he is putting somebody else in the blender, right? And again, what thought process here? I believe he's going against linebackers. Inside leverage, right? He's got this outside leverage. Okay, well then let me take advantage of that. I'm gonna go inside, and I'll guarantee you where he's gonna work. Rocker step, and I'm working this outside. It's so funny because we just did one handy jammy. Sorry. Because we were just looking at Jimmy Horn do the same thing in the East West Shrine Bowl. This is bag work, son. Get big. Oh, I'm climbing right on top of you. And what do? I'm not gonna let you what's it called? I'm not just going to let you say, oh, I'm going inside and I'm just inside. What does he do? He gets inside, but then gets right back outside, stacks his guy. But more importantly, as he's stacking, what does he do? He stays vertical. He doesn't drift. He doesn't drift to make him, this linebacker, start cheating. No, he gets back where he needs to be on his line, keeps it vertical, boom. That freezes him, rocket step, and then now I got space. This guy's cooked. And even though he does a great job catching up, as you can see, he's not the fastest, right? He did all that. I mean, the ball took a second to get there. This ball should have been released right here, right? This ball should be out, and boom, there's his window. He should have that. Ball takes a little longer to get there. It doesn't matter what someone dripped on him. One hand, he's catching a ball. This is what I mean. He's meant to just catch footballs. I don't know how you feel about his speed. I don't know how you feel. 6'3.5" might be too small for you. He might not be a blocker, but I'm telling you, he's going to get open and he's going to catch balls. Pause. All right. That's all this kid knows how to do. That's it. It's just, how do I find space in the defense? How do I find space? Where is he? Oh, and speaking of, he can't block. Here he is blocking right here on the edge there. He's going to come across. Okay. Yeah, I like it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he can block. Maybe he can bring a little bit of that. Now, I was North Dakota State defender, but you know, it is what it is. Some more angles as well of him, you know, doing what he does best. This is the other angle of him, of that other route where he sits, fake sit, and then boom. Like, I've watched a lot of football. I've never seen this in a game. I probably, you know, you probably have, like, probably in small ways, but I haven't seen this very often. You definitely don't see that out of tight ends, the way he's manipulating his body and things like that. And then, of course, when the Browns minicamp gets together and gets going, right, and you can see he definitely has an interesting running style. Like, if you look at him, he looks like he's kind of scooting. But even here, routes on air, look at the subtlety in his route running, right? He's running this with almost looks to be he really does. It's so weird. He looks to almost be running what do you call that when you run just straight at the post? Not a post, but there's another word for it. I forgot. Not a clear out, but you know, he takes this route. I like that again. Even at the top, what does he do? Squares his hips to get there. Boom, breaks off. Man, he ate up. He took all that up, man. He ate all that space up in the best way possible. I think Dillon Gabriel's going to find him here too. And I really like his presence, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot to be said about a presence of him, but when he lines up, man, he does seem like, you know what I'm saying? He want to make some magic happen. Like, boom. First off, shout out to Dillon Gabriel for putting this thing out there, right? I like Dillon Gabriel because you know, it's easy to just judge and say, oh, well, he put that up in a peculiar situation. At the NFL, you're going to have to trust your arm and trust your players to go make a play at the back of the end zone, right? And the fact that Fanin is more than willing to do that through contact, as you see, there's a hand on him right here. The fact that he's more than willing to do that through contact, and Dillon Gabriel is more than willing to throw it, I think is going to be positive for them just as they go forward. I think this is another angle of that back end zone. And look at what he has to deal through. Not only look at what he has to go through, but again, I say shout out to Dillon Gabriel. Look when he throws this ball. Look how nasty he is. All this congestion on the inside here. Boom. He's getting bumped. And this is what he's going to have to deal with. He's going to be a goal line target, but not in the traditional way of just, I'm taller than you, but hey, I'm going to out athlete you. I'm going to out bully you. I'm going to out mind you when it comes to the space of when it comes to the space left in the end zone. He's getting held right now, and Dillon Gabriel makes the decision to throw it. He's cocked up. He sees him crossing this face. Oh, I got it. Let me throw it up for my guy, give him a chance, and boy, does he give him a chance. Now, does he get both feet down? He does not get both feet down. So this is just a collegiate catch, but at the same time, absolute phenomenal work. And you know, like I said, y'all can see what he do. This is, you know what I'm saying, out in space. You know what I'm saying? He moves like he shouldn't be moving like that. Get out there. I just want to show you. Look how slow this stop was. It was a slow stop, but he knows how to use his body. Nasty stiff arm, great contact bounce when he gets there. So you can say he's not smooth. You can say he's not these things, but what you cannot say is that he is not one of the greatest tight ends to ever play football at a collegiate level. And that's not me saying it. That is the statistics saying it. So Harold Fanin, with the best single season performance of any FBS tight end in at least a decade. Here's Harold Fanin when it comes to first down per route run and then yards per route. He is out all the way up here. The only person who's close to him is Kyle Pitts. And if y'all remember Kyle Pitts, legendary Florida tight end, if you don't, comment down below because I'll just make a video about it and we'll walk you through the legendariness of Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts was supposed to be who Brock Bowers is right now. He was supposed to come in and blaze the league and go crazy. Harrison Bryant and Brock Bowers in these 2 seasons, which he's had some crazy. Oh, and Isaiah Likely. Well, would you look at that? I think, like I said, I really do think he is an Isaiah Likely clone, but not in the same way. I think the way he's going to be utilized as a secondary tight end that doesn't do a lot of blocking, but is a crafty mismatch for your offense. That's what he's going to be utilized. And I just want to make sure that we stop here. Harold Fanin Jr. had a historical 2024 season, 117 receptions, FBS record, FBS tight end record, 868 yards after contact, PFF era record, 32 missed tackles forced, PFF era record, 32 missed tackles. Yay! 96.5 receiving grade, PFF era. And like I said, and I alluded to earlier, we were going to get right back to it. 2024 Senior Bowl participant, right? Walter Camp All-American, AFCA All-American, Associated Press All-American, FW. Oh my goodness, broke 21 Bowling Green records, single game receiving yards, single all-purpose yards, XYZ elemental P, 10 FBS records, 10 FBS records, and led the nations in 105 categories. This is someone who is going to be legendary in their own right. He's a part of the new era of just receiving tight ends. I would love to see that he can block. I would love to see him, you know what I'm saying, lay that hammer down. And Cleveland Browns, y'all don't just got one legendary player. It seems like y'all got a nice slew of it. The Browns are definitely doing a good job of acquiring talent because you now have one of the most legendary tight ends to ever play the game of football. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. I like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you enjoy these types of videos. If there's a different type of video you want to see or different thing you want me to cover, comment it down below. I cannot thank y'all enough for the support over these last few days. Thank you to all the new subscribers as well. You're great. Keep being great. We know you're great. I know you're great. So just keep doing what you're doing, man. Peace.
Most receptions by a rookie tight end in week 1 in NFL history.
I don't think there's a matchup that can stop Harold Fanin. Now, obviously, Shedeur Sanders is currently QB3, right? Obviously, there's trade rumors going around with Mr. 12. But in a perfect world or a crazy world where, you know, a 40-year-old gets injured in the NFL, you know, because that probably is not going to happen, right? Right? Or, you know, Dylan Gabriel just can't cut the bill and isn't that guy. There is a quicker path for Shedeur becoming and playing for this Cleveland Browns offense, I think a little more quicker than a lot of people realize, right? So with that being said, the biggest thing that Shedeur Sanders can benefit on if and when he gets some playing time with the Cleveland Browns is somebody with the name Harold Fanin Jr. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you are a big knower, a big ball knower of a big knowledge consumer knower of Harold Fanin. I'm recording this at like 12 o'clock. I'm fading right now. So with all that being said, Harold Fanin, if you don't know, just came off having one of the most historic seasons in college football history as a tight end. He led all of FBS in receiving yards. Yes, as a tight end in Bowling Green, Ohio. that weird brown and orange team in Ohio, and now he got drafted to that awful brown and orange professional team in Ohio. And I gotta tell you, after this first week, everybody is now believing in the Harold Fanin hype. So before it goes off any further, I want to come get my comeuppance, right? I want to get my told you so's, because I made a video earlier in the offseason. I said Shedeur Sanders and Harold Fanin. Again, this is before. This is when we thought that the quarterback competition was fair, right? I said Shedeur Sanders and Harold Fanin are going to take over the NFL. It looks like Harold Fanin is going to do it first and then become such an elite threat that when Shedeur does get his opportunity, it's just going to be easy. It's going to be all day. It's going to look like this. It's going to look like routes on air. That's what it's going to look like. Smooth, easy, clean, right? Now, probably not the drop. Now, the drop, I probably should have double-checked this clip. That's a little embarrassing. But no, it cannot be denied what the former Bowling Green player has done already. Bowling Green alum Harold Fanin Jr. set an NFL record in his debut today. Fanin had 7 receptions, tied for the most of all time worn in an end. Oh, wow. by any rookie tight end in week 1. So Warren and Harold Fanin both set the record at 7 receptions. That's pretty good. Pretty funny too. And then from a historical aspect, remember in 2024, Harold Fanin broke the FBS tight end record for receiving yards at 1555. Boy, again, he led all receivers, wide receivers, to everybody in receiving yards. That includes the Triple Crown winner, Nick Nash out of San Jose State. Reception, he broke the receiving yards record, the receptions record, the receiving yards per game record, the receptions per game, all in a season record, led the nation's tight end in receiving yards, receptions, receiving yards per game, and receptions per game. Jesus. That boy, nice. That boy, real nice. Now, that's all fine and dandy, right? But that don't mean nothing in the league, man. Who cares? Right? What you doing when it really counts? So, let's talk about it. Harold Fanin, the box score says 7 receptions, 63 receiving yards, 1 rush for 3 yards in his first start. Already getting busy. Already being a guy. We saw the early connection that Joe Flacco liked in the preseason. Now it seems like all the fantasy gurus and the stat nerds are figuring out Harold Fanin's a guy. Harold Fanin's a dog. And when we get to the end of this, really the middle of it, I'm gonna make a player comp with Harold Fanin, right? And it's an NBA player. Stay with me. It's gonna be a lot of yapping, but my man B Souls, if y'all know him, he gave me this idea to do this. But going here, right? 55 snaps for Harold Fanin Jr. in his NFL debut. We're gonna look at a few of these. How about it? Why don't we? Actually, let's go like this. But he did a bit of everything. 3 lead blocks at fullback, 29 inline snaps, 16 out of the slot, 6 out wide, even took 1 wildcat carry. So what I want to point out, right, is, and I think they do a good job, they're going to summarize this out. It's not that Harold Fanin is just getting targets. No. Harold Fanin is a trusted part of this offense in week 1. As a 20-year-old, as a rookie, he is lining up at fullback. He's lining up in slot. He's lining up, getting met. So not only do they like the matchups that Harold Fanin can create, right? But they like him in a lot of different places. They think that he can take on the role of just a Swiss Army knife within the offense to fix things, including a wildcat quarterback. So we're gonna watch some of these snaps. But what does Cleveland Browns podcast dogs? Again, they do a great job. How do they feel about the situation?
But I will say, for being 20 years old, and playing the tight end position in the NFL as a 20-year-old, Harold Fanin Jr. looks legit. This dude led college football last season. And they had this on this. This is why these national broadcasts crack me up. They had his stats from college last season and said, number 1 among all tight ends. I'm like, number 1 among everybody. He led the entire nation, receivers, tight ends, everybody, in receptions and receiving yards. The dude is awesome. And, it was kind of one of those things. Okay, he played at Bowling Green, yada, yada. Is it going to translate to the NFL? He plays tight end, all this stuff. Yeah. Game 1 of his rookie season, and he goes out there. I mean, he had a couple plays where he dropped some passes, and I think those things are going to get cleaned up because this dude does not drop many passes. That was one thing coming out of college his coaches raved about. They called him, what was it, like glue hands or something? I forget, but he just doesn't drop a lot of passes. I mean, the 7 for 60, they just kept going for him. It was like, where's Fanin? Got to get the ball to him. So that was encouraging to me. Like, we do still need that number 1, like, receiver, but as far as having a legitimate weapon in the receiving game, Harold Fanin, I feel confident, is going to be that for us.
And I want to piggyback off what he said because, the reason why I made the initial Harold Fanin video is because of the problem that the Cleveland Browns are having in the wide receiver room, right? And I spoke about this a lot, and I was like, look, the thing that Harold Fanin brings, and even the running backs brings, is interesting. Like Dylan Sampson, which I'll junk it, is that they aid in the passing game. And that's something that's super, when you have, no offense to Gage, everybody loves Gage, but when you have undrafted free agents, when you have, what's it called? Our man, I can't believe I forgot our man's name. What's our man's name? Luke Floria out of Kent State, when you have them making big splash name and either fighting for spots or making the spot, right? That is a clear indication of where the receiving core should be. And so the big conversation was, okay, well, if you're not going to go out and get an elite wide receiver, which seemingly they didn't do, besides Jerry Jeudy, obviously, just having him on the roster. And then obviously you have Isaiah Bond. Okay, cool. But if you're not going to do that, then where else can you get those receiving yards? And I was the one saying, hey, Harold Fanin and David Njoku is going to be a 2 tight end system. You better get David Njoku, and you better get Harold Fanin the ball as much. You're going to start using David Njoku as a decoy. Maybe you start using Harold Fanin as a decoy, but they're going to play off of each other and hopefully give some alleviation to Jerry Jeudy, right? Instead of saying, where is the next wide receiver? No, you don't say, where's the next wide receiver? You say, oh, I got 2 of them, and I can line them up at tight end, at at H-back, out wide. I can play with their body types. Pause. Wow. Okay. Matchup wise, I can experiment. Wow, that sounds crazy. They create mismatches, okay? They create mismatches. They're bigger. If you're going against a linebacker, hey, they might be faster than a linebacker. If you're going against a safety, hey, you might be more physical than a safety. That's what Gronkowski always did in those Patriots days, right? That was the threat. It wasn't that he was just sure-handed and could catch and he was a dominant player. It was, okay, well, when I take this tight end and move him out wide, what are you going to do to your defense? Are you going to compromise your defense and put a linebacker out there? And now I just moved the linebacker out the box. Are you going to keep a corner out there and pray to God that he doesn't get dunked on? Are you gonna bracket Gronkowski and take 2 play? Like you need to, and kudos to Kevin Stefanski. Again, as much as we might not agree with everything he does, he clearly, is initiating the offensive coordinators in Tommy Rees to be inventive with their play calling, right? Because if you're already coming out and utilizing Harold Fanin in all these different ways and putting him here, there, Wildcat, the creativity is there. What I would love to, and obviously you need a first week like this to then translate into it. All right, now we use him as a decoy. Now we force the defense to respond to Harold Fanin going out wide. Now we take him from the tight end position and then motion him out to the most widest receiver. Let's see what y'all do. Let's see if David Njoku and Harold Fanin are right here at H-back. Let's see how y'all attack that. Like that is when you start getting into the chess game of football, right? Forget the plays. Play calling is just one aspect of breaking through defenses, right? How am I going to use these chess pieces before we even snap the ball to, I don't know, maybe help a young quarterback, help an old quarterback, create more rushing lanes, use a bigger body to get advantageous angles, right? This is where the creativity and the fun of offense happens, and having 2 tight ends that are unique like this really aids into it. Let's talk about the uniqueness of Harold Fanin. We're gonna watch a little bit of let's watch a little bit of film, and we're gonna get into this little comp, right? The comp I made for Harold Fanin, and if y'all been watching long enough, y'all know this, is I think he's Luca Donćić. Yeah, man. He's the Luca Donćić of the NFL. And we're gonna explain some things. So first off, let's find where 44 is. 44 is right here. Here he is lined up on line. Now, as you see, double tight end set. And again, how is a defense going to respond to this? Here you have it looks like a 7? 9's out here, right? So 7 technique. I might miss up a few things in the technical aspect of football, but he's head up the tight end. So I believe that is a 7, right? So he's in, or head up the tight end, I believe is a 6 actually, right? I could be wrong. Anyway, he's head up the tight end. So you're basically have this 4 down alignment, right? We're going to head up the tight end. You've got, I believe this Trey Hendrickson's out here on the edge, and he's going to attack Doward Jones, right? Now, what do you do here, okay? What it looks like is that you've got a linebacker peeking here, and you've got this corner ideally taking the deepest man. It looks like man here, all right, it looks like some sort of it really looks like cover 2 that's about to roll down to cover 1. You can't see this other safety, but he's cheated over here. It looks like it's about to roll to cover 1 and or cover 3. The reason why I don't think it's cover 3 is because I think that these two are basically going to be deep droppers. So I think this is either going to be a cover 4 or he's going to be the robber. This is just me assuming. This is just me based off this base alignment. Again, but this is what happens when you have 2 capable catchers of the football lined up as tight ends, and because you've got this running back here. And if I'm correct, this is Dylan Sampson. So really, you've got 3 threats right here on this left side, but nobody's out wide. How are you as a defense going to respond to that, especially being on this hatch, right? Okay, so boom, let's watch Harold Fanin work, right? Harold Fanin is going to immediately break out. So we're deep now. It's zone. And let me make sure whether they're playing. So he's dropping here. He's got outside leverage. He's dropping here. This might be so this is a zone. This might be cover 6 because it seems like they're playing 2 different coverages. Because this is a man where he's having outside leverage, right? So he knows he's got his safety help. That's why he has his outside leverage, because he's funneling him to the inside. This safety is dropping too, but he is a little more up on the line. I don't know what exactly this is. And then he's running like this is man. Yeah, this he was in man. Yep. Okay. So you see this linebacker, you see how he looked left? He's in man. Or not man, but he at least has like his job is the outbreaker at least, because I don't think it's man because he's looking at the quarterback. But you can see him peek over. You can see him look. He says, okay, I need to look there. So he wants to make sure it's not run. Okay, it's not run. Immediately gets his head out. Oh, no. And again, how do you create space? How do you create an opportunity for a guy? This goes beyond play calling. Forget the play calling, the pre-snap alignment. Again, how are you going to cover both of these tight ends if they have outbreakers? Look at your leverage. So the fact that what happens here is you force this corner, he's definitely playing zone, right? He's sinking. They have to switch. He's taking the deepest man, right? He's sinking. Yeah, I think they're playing 2 different coverages on these sides. Anyway, so he's sinking, and then you see him. He even has to break off here. That's how you know it's zone, right? And it puts them in conflict, and that is the biggest thing that you're seeing here. So let's get to the next play here. So. And now you see, again, some more inventiveness here, right? Now you have David Njoku by himself. Again, answer the question, who are you going to put in cover with David Njoku? Apparently a corner. Now, I think Harold Fanin is here. He's at the top of the trips here. I think this is going to be a quick screen that he's going to block for, right? And a thing that he was knocked for in college was, hey, he's not a real blocker. He's just a receiving tight end. Now, he seems to handle this. Now, he does get a little help there, but the physicality is really what you want to see out there on the edge. So, boom, there you go, another one. And again, shout out to Tommy Rees. Shout out to Tommy Rees because, again, forget the play call. Look at what this forces you to do. Hey, I got a corner on I got a quarterback on a tight end. What is this going to do? Nothing. It's going to do not nothing, right? So either you got to force him back or what are you going to do? You have to make a tough decision. And now you've got a corner on a tight end at the top of a blocking or at the top of a blocking rep. Like it just you're putting these you want to continue to stress the defense in different ways. So, and here we go. So, again, you got Harold Fanin and you got David Njoku on the same side with a deep wide receiver. Now, I can't tell if this is a nickelback or if this is a linebacker, but it looks like, if I were to just guess, this looks like cover 2 man. This is everybody's head up leverage, right? He's got inside shade, which means he believes he doesn't have safety help, right? That means he's going to use the sideline as his friend. They're going to take both of these deep halves. Everybody else is manned up. So let's watch work. Yeah, it's man. Okay, so wrong. Okay, so they're playing man here, but he's actually playing zone. I don't know if you can tell, but they're playing man down here, but they're playing zone up top. These match coverages have made things so confusing because he lines up like he's playing man. He immediately gives him the inside and starts playing. But then down here, you can see they're playing man. Like they're already here. a quick release there. There is Harold Fanin again, being physical outside on the edge. Now, motions, right? Motions is the name of the game in the modern NFL. So, is he lined up in the backfield? No, he's right here. Okay. So motion. What does a motion do, especially when you already have this double tight end look? So, like previously, they've shown this double tight end look. What I do want to point out is if we can go pre-motion, I really want to see if we can go pre-motion here, and see. So they started knocking over, right? You can see they're widening out, and what I want to see is how do they respond to this? This is a cover one look, right? So again, inside leverage, he definitely has no safety help. What's it called? I mean, and I said that wrong the last time. I said he didn't have safety help. He was going to push from the outside, but that's not. If he has a deep half, he has cover safety help. But he has no safety help. This is a single high safety, right? He's locked in. That's man, right? And if you have this man concept, you would assume it's going to be man out here too. But no, they're playing zone over here. So he's playing. What kind of cover one is this? Is this cover one drop? What? They are playing some crazy. This is clearly man up here. This is man. And he's getting bullied up here. But then what you see out here is, you motion out, and you're gonna get this defense to widen and drop. And what that does is create space, right? And here's two things. I want to wrap this up. What you got to see here is you got to see that Tommy Rees in the offense is very excited on using him, and they want to use him in a lot of different ways. Honestly, they're using him in some ways that I've suggested, right? Whether it's the double lineups, putting people in contention, right, and putting people in tough situations, right? That's how you get the most out of Harold Fanning, especially these two tight end sets. It's not really about, how do we get him in the end zone? How do we get no. How do we get him open? How do we get him open on pre-snap? How do we get it to the point where, okay, well, if this is going to be zone, the defense is just them rotating is going to create space, right? And that goes back to the idea of the type of offense Kevin Stefanski wants to run. Again, all of those routes were sitting. He was sitting. He was here. It was quick game. All that is the offense that they're trying to build for the Browns. So obviously, we don't have to get into the whole Shedeur situation thing of where he can do best, but Shedeur does shine best whenever he's able to be that guy and start stretching the field as well. Even though people like to say, oh, he only threw screens and stuff like that. Go check the stats and see who's better on deep balls compared to Cam Moore, Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, just go check it out, right? So with all that being said, this is an offense that's predicated off of let's get space right now. Let's get the ball into space, and then let's let the athletes do what they do best, right? Now, it's tough to do that when you have the wide receiver core you have, right? Because you don't really have the firepower to actually do that. You don't have the firepower to just get the ball in people's hands with a bunch of bubble screens and hope that you can make it happen. What now you do have the firepower on the tight end level, right? You have the firepower of, okay, I'm gonna force defenses to have a hard time because most defenses know when they have to cover at one tight end, like a 12 personnel, right? Is that 12 or 11, right? Yeah, 11 personnel where one tight end, one running back, 3 wide receiver. Hey, that's easy peasy all day. But especially in this modern day of nickel backs and everybody coming out with, automatically with a fifth defensive back, forcing a defense to say, hey, are you going to get more physical or are you going to pray that your cornerback can handle this, or pray that your nickelback can handle this? You're really like in as much as people say, hey, old football is not gone. That's some old football stuff. That's some, hey, beat me with your matchup. I guarantee you, I'm begging you. I don't think there's a matchup that can stop Harold Fannin, especially when David Njoku and Harold Fannin are on the field at the same time. To end this off, like I said, my man B-Soul, shout out to B-Soul. Hey, he is a content king. This man has been doing it in 2K. He's been doing it in podcasts. If y'all don't know B-Souls, that boy really do it. We go way back. But not important. He asked the question. He says, hey, he didn't know the Tua hate was like this. And I kind of he was asking for an NBA comp. I said, Tua Tagovailoa is Ben Simmons, right? High expectations with a glaring flaw that was being overlooked due to their other elite traits, right? He was great with processing all that stuff. He didn't have that hip injury. And then obviously people talked about him not being able to push the ball down the field. And then injuries greatly slowed development and warped people's opinions on him. And I believe that too. I say that to say the NFL comparison or NBA comparison for Harold Fannin is Luca Donćić, right? If you watch Harold Fannin play, it's not the most athletic thing you've ever seen. I gotta be honest with you. It's weird. It's like, why can't people cover him? He doesn't look like he's running fast, but he gets open. It doesn't look like he's physical, but they can't guard him. It doesn't. It looks like it's almost as if these corners and safeties just can't get the timing right on him. Like, he just moves in such a weird way, unique way, that they can't time him. Luca Donćić. So Luca Donćić is known for going at his own pace, at messing up the speed at which offenses run. And what that does is it messes up defenders. He lulls defenders to sleep with the way he methodically works the court, works the ball. And a lot of people speak about rhythms in basketball. Hey, it's a certain rhythm. Kyrie has a crazy rhythm. He's the crazy ball handler. And they say Luka's is like this weird downbeat that just changes all the time. Like, it's just like a what? Like, it's not necessarily that Luca is great, which he is great. It's also that they just can't predict what he's about to do. Harold Fanin is Luca Donćić. Don't ask me no questions. Just stamp it and get your 44 jersey, all right? And thank me. Thank old Tings when you have it. Man, y'all be great. Y'all be amazing. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Love Harold. I love the way he works. You know, he's just one of those people that I say he's just good at football.
You don't want to get handsy with me, dog. I'm telling you. Hey, yo. As we all are, I'm a Shedeur Sanders stan, but this is also a Harold Fanning stan account, and Harold Fanning is a very, very special player. He's a tight end, and I think he's going to be one of the biggest keys to success for Shedeur to have a long and successful career as the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback. Because, you know, it takes a village, it takes a team for success, and that boy Harold Fanning is a whole different level. We're going to go through a few things. First, obviously, I'm going to show you something because I don't want to talk too much about Shedeur here. What I want to show you is the fact that Shedeur Sanders lights certain fires under players. We're going to see that from other Raiders players and how they gravitate towards them. And then we're going to focus on the big dog that is Harold Fanning. Out of Bowling Green, he is a real deal Ohio kid, and it's a match made in heaven that he goes from Bowling Green now to the Cleveland Browns, and he has a chance to completely reinvent this Cleveland Brown offense, doing things no other tight end has ever seen. Titans' best friend, quarterback's best friend is an elite tight end, and I think they got two of them with David Njoku and Harold Fanning right now. But first things first, how do people get around when they're around 12? Do they feel a certain way?
Why you trying to hit the shit out of me though?
I was.
I was on his eye today.
Oh no, fuck no. I was throwing his little ass.
Yeah. You remember on that field? Yeah. You know, I don't be forgetting about that shit, homie. Yeah, look. He got one off me, bro. I ain't feeling that.
Hey, keep going, bro.
I'm gonna have to get it back in blood one day, homie.
I look forward to that, man.
But love.
Hey, keep going, buddy.
You love to see that, man. Look, you know, a lot of people don't like confidence. A lot of people don't like that. But I tell you what, when you're around a group of people who play football and their job is to be the most athletic, be better than you, outman somebody, absolutely put somebody in the dirt. How can you outstrength somebody? You got to have a different mindset. I'm sorry. Shedeur Sanders, I don't know if y'all knew this. Shedeur Sanders, he don't work at Staples, right? He don't work at a front counter at a what do you call it? A Walmart. You know what I'm saying? He ain't bagging groceries. Shedeur Sanders ain't gotta be. He don't gotta make you feel good. You know who he has to make feel good? Who he has to give confidence to? His teammates. And when you see an unwavering person like that, somebody who the other teams respect, somebody who uplifts his own teammates and gives them a certain level of, you know, confidence. Why would I want a quarterback who isn't confident in himself? Why would I want a quarterback leader of men to not be sure about himself? Why would I want a quarterback who throws an interception and mopes and cries and upset? Nah, man, hey, I'm going to get you back. I got you. Go up to one of the baddest people on the defensive side of the field in NFL. Hey, man, why you doing that? Why? I'm going to have to get you, too. It's a whole different level. And this is not about culture and unculture. What this is about is people who play football and people who don't. I'm sorry about it. There's a reason why Russell Wilson got kicked out of Dodge and everybody had everything negative to say. People don't like that fake stuff. People don't like, and Jalen Hurts Jalen Hurts gonna be next. Anyway, that's not the point. People don't like the fake leadership. They don't like this idea that, oh, you're so cookie cutter perfect. Well, you know, the team does a great job, and you know, the team, shout out to the team, shout out to coach, shout out to coaching team and the coach and coaching the team because the team coaches the team. Like, no, dog, like can you show a little bit of reality? Jerry Jeudy gonna drop the ball sometimes. Quinshon Judkins gonna fall and not get the full yard. It's gonna be some days when you're not on your best. But when you have someone like Shedeur Sanders who's even keeled at all times, it makes things better. And you know what makes everything better? Harold Fanin. I told y'all. I gotta be honest with y'all. Y'all think I glazed Shedeur? And this is a major pause. Big pause. Pre-pause. I'll be slobbing all over Harold Fanin, boy. Hey, how about a MAC tight end? Huh? Out of Bowling Green. Comes into the Cleveland Browns organization and just does this right here. How about Harold Fanin in week 12, 33% target share, new season high, 81% route tree, best in game, David Njoku play. It hasn't always amounted to much as a member of the Cleveland Browns, but Fanin has hit at least 20% target share in every game since week 5. Remarkable for a rookie tight end. What that means is as a rookie tight end who is, if you've been watching the Cleveland Browns, and I don't blame you if you haven't been watching, but it is Shedeur time, so you know how they get down. For a rookie tight end to make himself available to quarterbacks at such a high rate, it's a very good thing because that is what tight ends are. Tight ends are supposed to be the safety blankets. Oh, traditionally, right? You can still have wide receivers that are safety blankets, even running backs are safety blankets, but traditionally, tight ends are the safety blankets for quarterbacks. So that means he's been making himself available, making himself open, and that means he's a desirable target already for these quarterbacks, no matter who's been quarterbacking since week 5. So not only is he an elite teammate, also, when he gets the ball in his hands, he does some nasty things. Tight ends to force 5+ missed tackles in a single game this season. Harold Fanin, 6 in week 3. Harold Fanin, 11 in week 12. Somebody described Harold Fanin as a running back playing tight end that's also a wide receiver. So since 2000, only 2 tight ends picked outside of round 1 have been targeted 50+ times in the first 8 games of their career. That's going to be Jordan Reed, not a bad player, and Harold Fanin Jr. That's the end of the list. Fanin had one of the best college production profiles we've ever charted. It has translated right away. And what does that translation look like? Harold Fanin Jr. amongst all tight ends this year per PFF. 8th in reception, 48 leads team. He leads the team in receptions right now. 11th in yards, leads team with 462 yards. He leads the team in yards. 7th in yards after catch, 241. I think you get it. He leads the team, right? And tied 7th in contested catches, tied for team lead. He's 6'3", 240, but he plays like he's 6'8" and 280. And I am a large fan of Harold Fanin. You know who also is a fan of Harold Fanin and, you know, just the rookies in general. And don't worry, I'm going to do a video on Quinshon Judkins. I'm going to do a video on Dylan Sampson. I want to go through all these absolute phenomenal rookies and how they can help the brand new QB1 of Shedeur Sanders make great things happen. Here is Dylan Sampson, right? One of my favorite running backs coming out of this class. He was the entire Tennessee offense for Tennessee in 2024. What does he have to say about his rookie counterpart getting it done?
Me and him kind of started building a great connection over these past few weeks, past couple games. You know, I love Harold. I love the way he works. You know, he's just one of those people that I say he's just good at football. Like, I can't explain it, you know, and he's also one of the youngest people in this class along with me, you know, so it's fun to kind of have, you know, guys like that around you on your team, and it's motivating, you know, because when nobody's fighting, Harold is always fighting, you know, like regardless of the score, regardless of the game. So like it's a testament to him and just his mindset and how he attacks the various roles that they are asking him to do on this offense at a very young age, you know. And as far as our rookie class, that's motivational as well. You know, I think we're all contributing, you know, drafted and undrafted to this team in a positive manner, you know. And it's only up for here if we continue to, you know, do the right things, continue to get great coaching and learn as much as we can from the guys that came before us. Mm-hmm. It makes you proud about this class, though, you know?
Yo, and, you know, I've said this, you know, pretty often. I think, and, you know, you can go back in the preseason videos. This has been one of my favorite. Before they played, the Browns rookie class had some of my favorite players, right? Obviously, I'm a Shedeur fan. I'm a Quinshon Judkins fan. I'm a Dylan Sampson fan. And I like Mason Graham. I'm not a Mason Graham fan. I knew he was going to be a baller, but I like Mason Graham, right? There's a lot of great players coming out of this particular draft that, you know, I think is going to, and I didn't even know about Carson Schweringer, but I know about him now. That boy's serious. That boy real serious. So, you know, one of my favorite classes has to be the Browns in totality. But again, Harold Fanin has to be the shining diamond in the center of that crown for Andrew Berry. And just so y'all know what he was doing, and one of the reasons why I started falling in love, I like Harold Fanin. You know what I'm saying? I watched a little bit of Bowling Green, not that much. But when I saw this in the Senior Bowl, I knew it was a little different. Right now, you know, again, for the people who have been watching, I mean, one-handy slamming. How about it, right? It's just too easy for him. It's just too easy for him. If you've been watching my channel long enough, you know two things. One, that I love Harold Fanin. And two, that I love basketball analogies, even though they're probably not good. My basketball analogy for Mr. Harold Fanin Jr. is he is the Luca Donćić. The Luca Donćić of the NFL. Now, so far, because of how prolific he is, he's also making it big there. So it's not just because of the style, right? Because he has a very unique style, and here he is actually getting in the blocking game here. He's got a style that, you know, similar to Luca Donćić, where some people might say that, you know, he kind of beats to or you know, dribbles to the beat of his own drum. He kind of is almost offbeat. He sets the tempo. He sets the speed when he's dribbling, when he's attacking the basket, right? Harold Fanning is similar in that, where you can see just like it's not fast. It's not super fast. That's what's happening. But look at the, I mean, this is savvy. This is working leverage. This is just, I'm better than you, right? And I'm going to find space. I'm going to create space, and I'm going to create separation. We're talking about in a world where world-renowned players like Keon Coleman cannot find a way to separate. And I don't think Harold Fannin is the fastest man I've ever seen, but he continues to find inventive ways to separate. I want to show this because this is one of my favorite routes, right? Look what he does right here. The idea of being a tight end, right? You're not a real wide receiver, right? You're gonna get a little nasty and gritty. I assume this is either a safety or a linebacker, typically with guards, a tight end. Watch what he does here. The linebacker's gonna get handsy with him. This is all legal from 5 yards out, right? This is legal, so he's all up in his grizzlet. What does he do? Like a basketball player, he's gonna lean on him. He's gonna get in here, right? He's gonna get in here. Oh, I want to bull past you. Psych, no, I don't. And then almost like pulling the chair out, if you know what that is in basketball. I barely know what that is in basketball, right? He's going to force him. Now you try to get all this lean. Oh, don't worry about it. Boop. I just created 3 yards of separation. With a simply reading the defender. That's what makes him so special. It's that I'm sure he's got a plan. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. But this is responding in real time and finding a way. Oh, let me use your leverage against you. Let's get open. Boom. You want to get handsy with me? You don't want to get handsy with me, dog. I'm telling you, you don't. How about, and this looks like more of a safety DB body. This might still be a linebacker, but you know, he's going to set him out to the outside here. Again, handsy, physical, right? What's he going to do? He's not really leaning, but he's going to push vertical. And what that does is you want this defender to get his hips completely turned and think that you're going to keep threatening vertical, right? He does a great job at that. And then when he gets to the top of the route, he stacks. Right? And this is a nasty step. He doesn't fully stack them, but he takes a violent step to the inside. Boom. Right now, a little push out, but you playing, you know what I'm saying? If you're playing a real game, you got to play the real game. You got to play the game. So, and then there you go. That boy has separated. He is a separation specialist. It really doesn't take much for him to find those nooks and crannies and to open you up. And that's what, you know, translate for him at another level. So let's take a peek at this. Remember, Harold Fanning, again, the most prolific tight end in this year's draft, is headed to mobile. He led not all not all tight ends. Rather, he led all receivers, tight ends, running backs, Merry Christmas, Santa Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He led everybody in receiving yards. And this is the same year where people like Nick Nash and Travis Hunter were doing their big ones, right? Obviously, Travis Hunter was the Blitnikoff winner of the year. But 1,555 yards, 117 catches, and 10 touchdowns. It's a very, very special set of tape that was put out there for Harold Fannin. And again, he might just be at Bowling Green, right? It might just be Bowling Green, but man, he did it. I'm telling y'all, he did it against some top tier talent, including Texas A&M, right? He terrorized the MAC and did it at a high level with a high clip. And I'm looking forward to what else Harold Fanin is going to continue to do, because I think he's only going to continue to get better and better and better and better and help. And plays like this, because I don't want to watch too many plays. This was my favorite play, showcasing what he does and what he does best, helping out Shedeur Sanders. Now, it's 3rd and 12, right? In a 3rd and 12 situation, right? I think Shedeur and even the offensive coordinator is thinking, hey, let's just make a smart play and let's find a way to give our punter some space, right? We're on the 10-yard line. If we can get a little more space, create a little bit bigger margin of error for our punter, let's do that. But what happens here? Now, they get a little nasty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They send 5, but it's pretty black, but it's a screen. So Shedeur is patient. He rolls. Last second, they bearing down on him, and I think he takes a hit here. He takes a bit of a hit. Forget what Shedeur did. We love Shedeur. Soft hands from Harold Fanin. Secures the catch. Where does the ball go, Jerry Judy? I'm watching you. Hey, I'm gonna get Pablo Torre on you, Jerry Judy. You better tighten it up. Anyway, high and tight, because he's a running back. That's a tight end. Boom, right there. How about I stick my foot in the ground? Hey, I might not be the fastest, but I'm pretty quick. Let me make that happen. Okay, boom, stiff arm you. My name's Derrick Henry, actually, not Harold Fanin. Boom, get off me. Do you play professional football league? Do you play professional football? Because I'm up in your boy. I'm doing nasty things to you. On a 3rd and 12, Harold Fanin wills himself to a first down, and he did this countless and has done this countless of times this season. Harold Fanin is going to be a difference maker no matter who's at quarterback, but if he becomes a favorite target of Shedeur Sanders, I don't know who in the AFC North can stop this offensive duo, especially with Quinshawn, Dillon. I mean, right now, the Browns are young and they're prolific. It might get a little scary if they start winning some games. I don't know. Y'all look out. But y'all let me know how you feel down below in the comments. Do you think Harold Fanin is the truth? Are you now a Harold Fanin stan? I want all my CU aunties to support Harold Fanin, because I think Harold Fanin is going to be a phenomenal part of the offense to help develop Shedeur Sanders and do what he does best, man. Y'all be great. Y'all be phenomenal. Like this video if you like it. Just like if you don't. Subscribe if you like football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, and fashion. As y'all have been seeing, I've been uploading Texans content. I've been loading all different types of stuff. I do have a second channel, so if you want more just general reactions, you can check that out. But on this channel, I want you to comment if there's maybe some evergreen, maybe some throwback stuff, maybe some different football stuff. I want to start expanding a little bit, really putting my foot in the world of foosball and giving y'all some different flavors. Then we ain't stopping Shedeur content. I'm letting you know that right now. But I do want to give y'all more flavors to indulge in. So I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
They have the best rookie class in the NFL.
Yeah, y'all said a lot of nasty things about Harold Fanin too. It's a legendary connection. Harold Fanin and Shedeur Sanders have something very much common. First off, I'm a Glazer for both of them, I'll admit it. And 2, they were both very, very productive in college, but extremely undervalued when it came to the draft process. A lot of people said Harold Fanin was too slow. He's not your prototypical tight end type body. He only played at a MAC school, yada, yada, yada. And that's how I know your opinion of Shedeur Sanders and your opinion of Harold Fanin Jr. tells me how much football you need to watch, and the fact that you probably need to watch more football. Now, I don't want to say I told you so. Why did I lie? I love saying I told y'all so. I told y'all about Harold Fanin, right? I told y'all about Shedeur, and I told y'all about Harold Fanin. Y'all, some people say, hey, Tings is just a Shedeur Glazer. Add in Harold Fanin Glazer. Add in Dylan Sampson Glazer. Add in Carson Schweringer Glazer, because I'm glazing all these boys. Paul, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yo. Wait a minute, a little too much dip on my chip. However, as you've been seeing quite well documented from me, May 13th, September 12th, in 2025, I like to get off a Harold Fanin video from time to time. And now, both Harold Fanin, this is something they also have in common, both Harold Fanin and Shedeur Sanders have been nominated for NFL's Rookie of the Week. Man, who'da thunk? How did we get here? I was told for months that I was just glazing a third-string quarterback that's never going to get to play the game. Dang, man. Life comes at you fast. And you know who's faster? How much of a rise Harold Fanin has been on. Yeah, y'all said a lot of nasty things about Harold Fanin too. So this connection, it's a divine connection. It's a legendary connection. It's a connection that, even though Browns fans like it or not, might go on for a long time. Shedeur Sanders, when targeting Harold Fanin Jr. this season, 119.1 passer rating, plus .37 EPA per dropback. Sanders, when targeting anyone else, 78.5 passer rating, negative .09 EPA per dropback. Doesn't help when your wide receiver one is known for dropping and fumbling the ball and leads the NFL in drops. But check this out. It's not just Shedeur Sanders who's benefiting from Harold Fanin, which, hey man, again, if you've been watching football, you should have known Harold Fanin's a dog. But it's also Harold Fanning having better statistics with Shedeur Sanders. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk, right? Shedeur Sanders, I mean, obviously Harold Fannin had his first ever 100-yard receiving game. And by the way, as a tight end, he had a 100-yard receiving game. Harold Fannin Jr. with Joe Flacco in 4 games, 160 receiving yards, 17 receptions, no touchdown. With our guy Dylan Gabriel, 6 games, 27 receptions, 262 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. With Shedeur Sanders in only 3 games, Shedeur Sanders and Harold Fanin have connected for 15 catches, half the catches of Dylan Gabriel, 197 receiving yards, only 70 less receiving yards, and equal amount of touchdowns. Man, oh man, what a quarterback tight end connection can do for an entire team. And it seems like the thing that I've been saying this entire time, that, hey, this Browns rookie class is something special. You got Dylan Sampson. You got Quinshon Judkins. You got Harold Fanin. Did I say Harold Fanin twice? He's so nice I had to say it twice. You got Mason Graham. You got Carson Schweringer. You got a bunch of young dogs, and I think one of the biggest dogs is Harold Fanin.
I thought Dylan Sampson made a great point. Something that in the moment I'm not even sure we realized, because you're just used to it at this point, because David Njoku left the game with a knee injury, as Dylan Sampson pointed out today. On that final drive, other than Jerry Jeudy, every single skill position player was a rookie. They have the best rookie class in the NFL, period. No one's even close. You had Shedeur out there along with both Sampson and Judkins on the final possession, along with Isaiah Bond, Harold Fanin, and Gage Larvidan. So other than Jerry Jeudy, every single skill position player for most of the fourth quarter was a rookie.
I mean, and that's the truth. I mean, and this is the national media finally waking up to it. This is Harold Fanin and Shedeur getting nominated for NFL Rookie of the Week. But let's get deeper, because I love stats and facts. You know me. I like to bring you some stuff. So shout out Gridiron Grading. There's a few stats from here. Now, Shedeur Sanders, now, again, we ain't got to talk about it. Shedeur Sanders on their big board was number 20 on their 2025. Harold Fanin was number 16 on their 2025. The Browns picked Harold Fanin in round 3 and Sanders in round 5. Really good value for that, right? So shout out Adam Carpenter as well. Highest YPPRR. Now this is going to be some nerdy what do you call it? Fantasy football stats in here too, right? There's going to be some nerdy football stats and there's going to be some actual football stats. But right here, man coverage amongst all 2025 rookie tight ends, Harold Fanin Jr. is tight end 1, tier 2, high-level NFL starter, has an impressive 1.67, whatever that is, versus man on 26 targets and an average depth of target of 8.5. Fanin Jr. dominated man coverage in college with a 2.83 YPRR and a contested target rate of 10%. Fanin has an incredibly bright future in the NFL. Again, Colston Loveland, which was a high tier, a first round pick, tight end. Tyler Warren, another first round pick. Gunnar Helm, hook 'em horns. He wasn't a first round pick, but he's a former SEC tight end. And Harold Fanin on the Bad News Browns is leading in whatever yards per. I think this is yards per route run. I apologize. Some of these advanced analytics get me going. So back to Gridiron Grading. Harold Fanin Jr. Is up to career high 8 catches for a career high 114 yards and a touchdown. He now has 59 catches in the first 13 games of his career. The only 3 rookie tight ends with more through their first 13 games are Brock Bowers, ever heard of him, Sam Laporta, that boy nice, and Dalton Kincaid, that boy nice. No matter who the quarterback is, Harold Fanin has been making it happen, and now that he's got his guy 12 in the driver's seat, it's only up from here. I gotta be honest with you. Check it out. Harold Fanin in 3 games with Shedeur Sanders as the starter. Now shout out to Datarama. Again, this is what the nerds are saying. It's what the stat nerds are saying, right? 82.7% route share, 5th amongst 30 tight ends, plus 0.26 target per route, 6th, 23.9 target share. Fourth, 25% first read target. Fourth, 2.43 yards per route. Fifth, 65.7 yards per game. That is fourth out of all tight ends. Not rookie tight ends, all tight ends. I got lots of stats for y'all. Y'all better buckle up. Harold Fanin Jr. stats after today's game. 59 receptions, 619 yards, 4 touchdowns, on pace for 77 receptions and 5 touchdowns for 809 yards. That boy is nice. We talk about this because we love T-Mac over here. Terrell McMillan's going crazy. Y'all said he was a bum. I don't know what happened to Emeka Ibuka. I don't know what happened. That boy is still nice. Don't worry. But guess who is, and shout out to Tyler Warren. That boy balling. Tyler Warren, that boy balling. But again, he was supposed to be balling, right? Everybody said my guy out of the MAC school, right? Everybody said the Bowling Green tight end was undraftable. Well, number 4 in rookie receiving, not tight end receiving. All rookie receivers. Harold Fanin is 4th with 619. That's with 3 different quarterbacks, right? Tight end market share. Trey McBride, 27%. Harold Fanin, 24.6%. Number 2, market share is basically the percentage of team receiving yards. Now, percentage of team receiving yards while on the field, again, Harold Fanin, 31%. So not only is he doing phenomenal things, not only is he making things better for Shedeur, Shedeur is seemingly making things better for Harold Fanin. Harold Fanin is an absolute dog. And again, like I told y'all, Harold Fanin has a very similar story to Shedeur Sanders when we talk about the draft, because Harold Fanin Jr. was looked at as some undraftable player. And I want to remind y'all all, and again, it never made sense to me. It never made sense that the Bowling Green tight end that did and had his best games against SEC defenses, why were y'all looking at him like he couldn't be that dude? Why was the MAC legend not that dude? Harold Fanin, and this was just on a random day, on the end of his season, had 17 catches for 213 receiving yards and a touchdown in one game in Bowling Green. On the season, he finished with 117 catches, 1,555 receiving yards, 10 receiving touchdowns. I want y'all to understand, Harold Fanin, he didn't lead all tight ends. Nope. In the same year, shout out to our guy Travis Hunter. In the same year that Travis Hunter won the Biletnikoff, if I could say it right, in the same year that Nick Nash had more receiving yards than Travis Hunter, guess who led all receiving yards? Harold Fanin Jr. Harold Fanin Jr. is the most productive tight end in the NCAA history with 1,555 yards. What happened? What makes somebody like this with generational performances, amazing averages, amazing touchdowns, amazing yards per game, how do y'all not think this boy gonna be a dog? I don't know, but hey, y'all told me that the NFL always gets it right. That's what y'all told me. That's what y'all told me. In 2024, BGSU tight end Harold Fanin ranked first in mind you, not in tight ends. This is first. Except what's it called? Except the tight end, except the touchdown number, because he was first amongst touchdown tight ends. He was first in receptions, first in receiving yards. Period. FBS. It's all Harold Fanin. Why y'all doubted him? I will never know. He did this against Texas A&M. Now we can't watch too much of this because you know how college football be getting. But everybody clowned Harold Fanin for this. Everybody said Harold Fanin had lead in his shoe. I didn't get it. It's almost like people don't watch enough football. And I get it. People don't like football. He ran a 4.73. It's nothing amazing, but he's people are falling off him. That's an SEC defense, ladies and gentlemen. He catches it. He's running. He's moving. He put his foot in the ground. I mean, making defenders look silly. I can't show you too much. Just know Harold Fanin is the absolute truth. And like I said, it's a real team effort, right? In some ways, Harold Fanin helps Shedeur, and in other ways, Shedeur helps Harold Fanin. Just take a peek at this cinematic look at their should-have-been game-tying touchdown. You know what I mean? Shedeur gets up to the line, sees something he likes. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns for having this and having all these different angles or whatnot. Sets up 1, 2, 3. Give your guy Harold Fanin a chance to go up and get it. He gonna little boy any defender that thinks they got a chance. That's just what he do. That's just what he do. He was making amazing catches down the sideline. I mean, that boy nice. He's nice. I don't know what to tell y'all. Why did y'all doubt it? Why? Why would y'all doubt somebody like this, man? There's no way that you should be able to doubt somebody like this, right? Now, I do want to get into a little deeper. Shout out to my man Max Loeb. He said a lot of different things. He says Harold Fanin is top 5, and I believe it.
Jr. is playing like a top 5 tight end in the NFL right now. It starts with his jump ball ability. He's a better athlete than you, and he will go up and get the football. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco. If he's given a chance to get the ball, he's going to get the ball. You can see on this potential game-tying touchdown, Shedeur Sanders lays it up for him perfectly just to go up and get it.
Beautiful throw by 12. And then I'm going to take it from the boy.
Head. But it goes way beyond his ability to moss a defender that's a little smaller than him. After the catch, he is insane. Look at this 3rd and 12 where Shedeur Sanders can't do anything but check the ball down. Harold Fanin Jr. gets this ball at the 12-ish yard line. And almost immediately there's 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th in the corner. Defenders on him about 8 yards from the first down marker. Well, this first defender, Harold Fanin Jr., very casually.
Get up off me.
Can't do anything about it. Immediate contact made about 4 or 5 yards before the first down marker. Harold Fanin Jr. not only bowls all 3 of these guys over, but gets even more yards after the catch to get this first down. But then there's things you physically can't teach. Instincts, the ability to understand the game of football, where Harold Fanin Jr. makes a sliding catch and a DB doesn't immediately touch him down. The second he hits the ground, he pops back up and actually gets faster, actually finds more burst to beat multiple Steelers defenders. Here comes one. He stiff-arms Juan Thornhill, and watch this. He gets contacted here at the, 24-ish yard line, 25 yard line.
People,
I want you to watch where he finishes this play, guys.
People.
Watch where he finishes this play, the 17. This is a special talent.
And shout out to my man Max Loeb. I don't know. I hope I'm saying his name wrong. He is one of those guys that it's usually a lot of the younger Browns, younger Browns media people like my man him. Shout out to Chef Zay. He does great stuff as well. They seem to, I think Jay Peterman as well. I forgot his name. They do such a great job at being fair to Shedeur, fair to the entire Browns team, and praising people like Harold Fanin. So y'all go give him a follow, whether it's on TikTok. I think he does a YouTube as well. He makes great content. Really appreciate the way he does it. Now, somebody I got a problem with Acho. Y'all know what Acho did. Y'all know how nasty Acho. Acho is a flip-flopper. And if y'all want me to do a separate Acho video, I will. However, when he's right, he's right. And he made some good points about this throw.
You can see the weather's bad at this point. Why is this my favorite? Look closely at Shedeur. What's Shedeur doing? Hey, he's making checks. He's making checks.
Hey, man. I you know what I'm saying? Mary Kay Cabot said the biggest issue for Shedeur was pre-snap process, setting up protections. We heard Joe Bitonio even talk about, hey, he's doing good back there. Hey, he set a few protections. He changed some things around, and the NFL, former NFL players can see it too.
This is telling me he's cerebral. Okay, he's making checks. He brought this receiver in to come chip block. Shadeur's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to check this to a wheel route. But in order to check this to a wheel route and out and up, I need more time. How do I get more time? By bringing that receiver in. Hey, chip this defensive end. Give me a little bit more time. Shedeur, he called his own number.
Just a dot.
And do an absolute dot.
Just a dot. I don't agree with a lot of things that Acho says, but I have to agree with that. I have to agree that both Harold Fannin and Shedeur Sanders are dogs. And, you know, as long as the Browns don't mess it up, and, you know, Browns have never messed anything up, right? Right? As long as that doesn't happen, this is going to be a connection for a very, very long time. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you didn't, dislike it. Subscribe if you like football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, and fashions, even though this is a Harold Fannin Stan account. Y'all have a phenomenal day.